Hello and welcome to the stream. Thank you for waiting. I know it took a little bit today to get started, but I'm here and we're doing more Reddit React. I'm going to get very upset and yell at the screen because Redditors aren't people. So I hope you're ready for that. I know I am. This is in a weird... Hold on, this is like a weird aspect ratio here. Yeah, I don't know why that happened. Let's do it like that. Hey, I like these apples. Sarah followed me? Wowzers! My sister finally follows me on Twitch. What the fuck? Also, why is my sound not working? There we go. Okay, so let me fix this right quick. Whoop. That's good enough. Alright, so we're gonna get a little funny, get a little silly, scream at Reddit a little bit, and then we're gonna play Hitman. And that's probably not gonna go great, but you know, we're gonna play it anyway. Because that's what we do here. My tea bag broke, so there's a bunch of leaves in my drink. Alright, let's get started on the first one. It's got 0 upvotes or downvotes. Am I the asshole for calling out my friend on her bitter attitude? I, 29 male, am an orthopedic surgery resident. I have been friends with Kate, 33F, since middle school, and Kate's wife, Valentina, 36F, ever since they started dating 10 years ago. Valentina is a neurologist and I'm an attending, so you can guess she has a huge ego and a tough attitude. We love a girl boss here. I'm training in the same hospital that Valentina works in, which is quite well known. I was checking up on a patient who he had operated on, who is now in the neurology ward for a stroke. Since the patient had a hard time understanding, I gave him handwritten instructions. The next day, I got a call from the ward saying that I'm expected to go there as soon as I can because Dr. Valentina asked for me. I go there and find a fuming Valentina who hands me the sheet of paper and asks me to read it. I read it aloud for her. She said there were 8 people here, including interns and med students and herself, and no one was able to read that except for the one who wrote it. So she asked for the paper. I gave it to her. She threw it in the trash and said it belongs there if no one can read it, and told me to write it down nicely this time and hand it to her patient. I did it, and can't really say anything because after all, she is an attending and quite well known in her job. However, when I was over in their house later, I told Valentina this attitude was wrong and she could have done it more gracefully. She called me an inconsiderate asshole for writing that instruction away in that way and said no amount of words could express how angry she was. She said the patient had lost sight in one of her eyes due to the stroke and the other could barely see. Valentina goes on about how she, as a goddamn neurologist, couldn't read my note, let alone this poor patient. Kate would later say that she would usually defend me, but she knew her wife's work ethic and integrity and wouldn't question her on these things. I am wondering. I am wondering, chat. I am wondering, was I wrong for calling her out? Holy shit. I ain't no doctor, chat. I'm a humble down-home automaton. So I can't speak for all this. But, holy shit. So, you have... Oh, shit, Metaliar. Thank you for the hydrate. A good way to get this started. So your patient has a stroke. Okay. Can't see in one of their eyes. The other eyes can barely see. Is not understanding your instructions. So you go, I'm going to write him a note. I'm just gonna scribble this down here real quick. More info. Let me see your handwriting. Show us the note, you coward. I don't know if you're an asshole. I think you're a weirdo. I I think that doctors are weirdos now. But I don't think I feel like I think when you're asking somebody whether or not they're an asshole, right? That intent plays a part in it. Not always like a grand part, but a part nonetheless. And I don't think either you or Valentina were trying to like Oh my god, I just realized I never did my stream information. Yeah, thank you, Battalion. Let me fix that. Alright, I'm good at this. I am a professional. So, I don't know if I'd call bad handwriting asshole-ish. Bro, I hate these things? Which things? What things do you hate? Redditors? Because we're in the same boat, my dude. Took me a second to saw it and top left, and I was like, oh, snap. Yeah, there's so many things I gotta do before stream. And I wait till last minute to do them because I'm very bad at this. So I don't know. I don't know if that makes you an asshole. I don't know if it makes her an asshole for calling you out for your shitty handwriting, or the fact that you wrote a handwritten note for a stroke patient. My wife said I need to stop beating her and cutting her off for her family and feed her more than a meal a day. I say her expectations are unreasonable. Am I the asshole? And the comments are split. Yeah, Reddit's wild. Speaking of which, let's get into the comments, because I'm kinda torn about this. Oh my god! Yo, what the fuck is happening in the comments? First, let's discuss you, a scalpel jockey, accusing a neurologist of having an inflated sense of self. I almost fell out of my chair laughing at the irony. You're the asshole. Leave work at work. Bringing something like that up in a social situation is inappropriate. On top of it, you made your friend have to choose between you and her significant other. If you can't handle getting your ass chewed, then maybe a career in a research lab would be better fit for you. My god, dude. The neurologists are in the comments section. The neurologists have teamed up on this motherfucker. Who hurt them? Cora is the worst with it. My child got a 99 instead of 100 on their last math test, so I've been beating her with the spark plug 3 times a day. What else can I do to show her less than 100 isn't acceptable? God. Maybe I gotta look at some Quora posts. Maybe that's the next react. I think it's interesting to be like, well, you should leave work at work. Like, especially if you have... I will link you a whole bunch later if you want. My brother in Christ, please. I think it's interesting to bring up the leave work at work thing, because, like, especially if you have a personal relationship, what are you talking about? Like, you're friends outside of work, and we're friends outside of work first. Like, I'd be so mad if I worked with a friend of mine and I was like, hey, when you spit on me today and then kicked me in the testicles until I cried, I found that kind of out of pocket. And they went, oh my god! That was at work. This isn't work. Please leave work stuff at work. I'd be a little miffed. I'm not gonna lie. I would be like, that doesn't seem very respectful to me, actually. Good sir. Just a wee bit. Just a wee bit disrespectful. God, okay. Let's see if there's more vitriol. You're the asshole. I want to keep this simple, but first, so as you can guess, she has a huge ego. No, that's not an assumption I would make. I think that's your bias. But at your job, you provided illegible documentation. Your supervisor addressed it with you. I think that's fair. Again, I don't think either of them are like... I don't know. That is a weird statement. It is a weird way to start off the post by being... So you can see, I bet you already know she has a huge ego. Yeah, alright. I don't... Maybe because I'm not a doctor, like... Maybe neurologists are, like, just well known to be pieces of shit, but that's your friend? You start this by being like, that's my friend. Also, she's kind of a bitch. Which is weird. I'm still not convinced on assholishness, but I could teeter. I'm not firm set. Valentina may have been overly harsh, but as a medical doctor, you must know that neurology patients may have deeper cognitive impairment due to their condition. Yeah, that's kind of where I was going with this. Like, obviously you should put, like, extra care into communicating, either through your own words or through writing. You should take care to make sure your stroke patients understand. Am I the asshole for hating my friend and making someone who can't read my shitty writing? Again, I'm not convinced on assholishness yet. I'm not 100% convinced that this guy's an asshole yet. I definitely know that the friend isn't the asshole. Doctors all have terrible writing, that's universal. Well, you should take your time and take care when you have a fucking stroke patient. Writing a note, even through a computer keypad, will not guarantee that the patient will comprehend that. You've been exceptionally thoughtless in engaging with this patient. Being an orthopedic doctor doesn't absolve you from the duty of comprehensively considering a patient before engaging with them. There's a reason one spends innumerable years in med school before taking residency. It is precisely for situations like this, and for allowing doctors not to fall into the tunnel vision imposed by their narrow specialty. You're the asshole. He's not even a doc yet! He's a resident! Oh, that is a doctor, you dumb fuck! This motherfucker's never seen Scrubs! Get him! Okay. You're the asshole, wait, is that on screen right now? You're the asshole your sexism is showing. This is the title for the YouTube video, by the way. Am I the asshole? My egotistical lesbian supervisor yelled at me inappropriately when I poorly communicated important recovery instructions for a stroke victim instead of properly documenting with the patient's medical attendants. Grey's Anatomy still exists and they still got it wrong. Oh, this motherfucker's never seen all 28 seasons of Grey's Anatomy! Fuck you! No one could read the note. You're expecting a patient who can't see out of one eye who had a stroke to read something that staff on the ward couldn't read. You're the asshole, do better. How can they care for a patient without knowing what the fuck you wrote? How can the patient do as you ask if you cannot read the fucking note? I mean, Jesus, seriously, stop wasting people's time. I don't know, chat. I don't know. I'm kind of feeling now. I'm kind of feeling like this guy might be an asshole. It's okay. There's another physician here. Hello, fellow physician here. You're the asshole. Other people have addressed the sexism in your post, so I'll leave it and address the issues surrounding your patient care. Why wouldn't you type out the instructions? It would have taken you 10 seconds and you could have increased the font size or for a visually impaired patient, made multiple copies, and then copy and pasted it into the discharge paperwork so his caregiver had it for home and it was in the medical record. Instead, you half-assed it for a disabled patient, and even the primary team couldn't come behind you and clean up your mess. Asshole move and poor patient care. Yeah, I'm swayed. This dude's definitely a fucking asshole. I just needed time to, like, process how much, like, laziness actually went into him, like, not doing this, right? Like, holy shit. Holy shit. Yeah, okay. Chat, you in the comments have swayed me. This guy's definitely the asshole. Agreed. Moving on. Case dismissed. Let's find our next one. This one I feel like will be really quick. I can't imagine this one causing a lot of, like... It was in controversial, but I can't imagine this being very controversial. Am I the asshole for asking a volunteer of youth sports to not show up high off weed? I am not against weed. I am a regular user and a parent. It is legal in my area. I do not smoke in front of my children and rarely parent while high. There are times where mom is overwhelmed with work life and needs to decompress before I can show up as the best mom I can be. I choose to smoke after my kids go to bed. This person is a fellow volunteer and a personal friend, which is how I noticed they were high while at a sports meeting. They were great as a volunteer and it seems to be that the children love the interaction mentorship they receive. But as a parent, I feel like you're choosing to devote time to children. You should show up sober and ready to contribute positively to these children. If you need to smoke weed before then, maybe you aren't suitable to be a volunteer. I believe there's an appropriate time and place to partake, and it's not while volunteering and being around children. Am I being too uptight? I immediately regret what I just said. I immediately regret saying that this wasn't going to be controversial, because I feel like I'm going to be controversial about it and be like, dude, chill the fuck out. Like, he keeps showing up to volunteering, high, and all the kids love him. He's doing a great job. Everything he does is perfect, but I'm pissed off that he's high. This is a thing I know and I'm pissed about. I know he's doing a great job, and I know that everything's fine, but I'm upset about it. Maybe he shouldn't be allowed to volunteer to work with children. Big fucking uptight. Like, what? What? Oh, you know it has me worried. You know it has me worried already. I'm terrified to dive into these comments. Mind your fucking business. I'm ready for the debate in the comments. I'm not. You're a braver soul than me. Mind your fucking business. It'd be different if he was fucking up, or, like, he was being irresponsible with the kids, or, you know, like, he's showing up, like, cartoon high. Like, he showed up like, yo, dude, I'm fucking flying. But he's clearly not, because you're talking about how good of a job he's doing, and how much mentorship, how much meaningful mentorship and interaction he gives to these children. Mind your fucking business. Here we go. We're going in. Not the asshole. It's completely reasonable to ask someone volunteering around children to show up sober, time and place, like you said. I'm a volunteer soccer coach for kids. I also regularly smoke weed. I would not dream of partaking before an activity. I know I need to be alert then. Also, like, these people all assume, because there's so many reasons, like, to smoke weed. Like, these people are all under the assumption that, like, oh, well, he's smoking weed to party before he mentors these kids. He's gonna party. And it's like, who cares if he's smoking, like, a little bit? There's 100 reasons why people might want to smoke a little bit of weed before they go out. Even if it's to mentor kids. There could be an anxiety factor, mental illness factor. It just might make him better at his job and more attentive. Fucking Dare ruined an entire generation of people because they are. Dare's campaign to be like, all drugs are bad all the time, and no matter how much you take, you're gonna get so high you die. That shit ruined an entire generation of people. There's levels to this shit, and if he shows up unfit to perform, that's one thing. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that a lot of, like, the Dare ruined an entire generation of people thing, when it comes to, like, talking reasonably about marijuana, I also think the worst thing is how much they conflated smoking weed to drinking. Like, people out here really thinking, like, oh, well, he took a puff off a joint before he went to soccer practice, so he's fucking flying right now. He doesn't even know what planet he's on. I don't trust my mom to do literally anything sober. So true. I also don't trust your mom to do anything sober. Like, it's absurd. It's absolutely absurd. I can require having the full faculty of my brain off my brain at any given time. Can't even fucking spell. He's gonna sit on his ivory tower. I'd never get high and be around children. As he can't even fucking spell. So much sobriety's doing for you, dumbass. Not the asshole. What are the rules that govern volunteering? Where are the ancient texts of volunteering? Bring them forward so I may review them. Bring the guidebook, court wizard. I must see the rules of volunteering. What the fuck are you people talking about? Oh, and literally the next comment down is pretty much asking the OP to narc on him. Thing that's not illegal in their state, by the way. Oh my god. There are no... Oh, here it is. Here it is. What was I just saying about conflating weed with alcohol? There's no written rule on weed. There are rules on smoking in general on property. There are also rules on alcohol because there's been issues in the past with said youth sports organization. But again, this person not smoking near the children or the property, just showing up high. This seems morally wrong and inappropriate. Tell me you guzzle propaganda like 1,000 cocks without telling me. Tell me you actually just fucking double fist propaganda till it spews in your mouth. Absurd. It's morally wrong to be a high. Because weed, alcohol, and black tar heroin are all the same thing. I went to Dare, and I drowned myself in American propaganda during the war on crime. You people are insane. You people are actually insane. And again, I think it would be a completely different thing if he was showing up absurdly stoned to the point he couldn't do his job. Or even, not even couldn't do his job. Let's not even go there. I think it would be a problem if he showed up so high that he couldn't, that his work was lowered. That he wasn't able to, like, give the same level of care to these children. Right? Totally different story. Totally different conversation. 100% would agree then. But that's not what's happening. That's not what's happening. He's showing up a little bit high, which could be for many reasons. Most of them medical, A lot of them medical. But you're so fucking cum-filled with propaganda that you're like, well, that's the same thing as showing up drunk. And again, it'd even be a different conversation if he was, like, getting a little high in front of these kids. You can't do that. Absolutely. I'm on board with that. You can't smoke in front of the children. You shouldn't smoke, like, show up reeking of weed. I get that. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about that you can't mind your fucking business because you think you're the main character in someone else's life. So you should take something that's not only meaningful to the person you're attacking, but also meaningful to the children they mentor, and take it away. Because you're absolutely cum drunk off propaganda. Let's move on. I'm adequately enraged. Let's see what else we got. You're like really into cum today. I got into the metaphor of like consuming propaganda like guzzling cum, and then I stuck to it. I stuck to it the whole way. I really committed to the bit, and you gotta give me that. That's what we do here. We commit to the bit. Even if the bit is cum.